What's going on, YouTube? It's been about 6 months since I did a update on my fish tanks. A lot has changed. Got a big window of time with this whole crazy COVID crap, and so I've been able to do a few things. You make some upgrades. I added a tank over here, this 150, and I added a couple of sumps. One for the new 150 and then one for Flex's 240. Just to try and help with maintenance. And the fish is getting so dang big. He's pushing the limits of this 240, so I thought more filtration would be good. And got a pretty sweet deal on these. I get most of my gear at a place called Rainbow Aquarium and Pond in Arleta. And, they got good stuff. Like, these tanks are made by a company called Vizio that's made locally in LA. And for example, this 240 is like $750 for a brand new glass 240 is not bad. This 150, which is a 5x2x2, was I think $480 out the door. I also got a new phone, this new Galaxy S20 5G or whatever it is, the newest one, which is this wicked camera on here. But it's very sensitive, very adjustable, so you can really dial it in for the fish and the lighting. But some tanks like this one looks all pink and the speed of the light picking up the LED speed, which is strange. So anyways, I'm going to try and clip them together where I can adjust them for each tank light, and they look awesome. Like, this looks pretty good. It's kind of bright. So this is a new 150 that I got, and I'm just got into some flower horns. Ran into a guy here on a local Facebook page that had the sickest looking flower horn I've ever seen. And so I hit him up, we started talking. So shout out to my boy Andre Anderson. He buys these fish directly from cats in overseas in Thailand and Vietnam, and he gets a pretty good deal on some really high quality fish, and the guy just knows what's up. It's kind of his niche, is flower horns, and so he's been kind of mentoring me on flower horn keeping and helping me get some high quality fish for, you know, somewhat reasonable price. Some of these fish go for a ridiculous amount of money, and some may consider what I paid for them ridiculous, but it's about half of what you get them in reality. Like, you know, and everything's subjective. Everybody's opinion is what it is, especially when it comes to flower horns. There's a big division in camps. Some people love them, and some people think they are blasphemy for messing with nature. But one thing you can't argue is people are getting good at breeding them, breeding in these traits like this giant nuchal hump, covered in pearls, two-tone color, mega attitude. I can see from keeping wild, more pure fish, some genetic weaknesses. Like, this fish has kind of a weak tail and body, sloped off slightly. But I mean, look at the nuchal hump on him and his attitude. And flower horn quality varies. I mean, this is a high quality flower horn for sure, but again, subjective, and I find them super interesting. I always have. Some people, I don't know, look down on people that keep them, and that's whatever. It's all good. I've always been interested in them. I kept a few, and I do have more problems with flower horns than other things. Here's my neighbor who's always butting into shit. He's gonna fuck up my video. Anyways, this is this fish. I'm not sure where I got this from Andre. I basically take his secondhand stuff. He gets some super high quality fish, and some don't cut the mustard, and I'm happy to take his throwaways because they're nicer than anyone's I've ever seen. So I'm not sure exactly where he got this from, but I got this from him, and I'm super happy with him. I got this guy from him also. more recently. This is the one I picked up most recently. And then this golden base female came from Chris Rounds. And I'm trying to breed him, but you see he's getting pecked on the back of his dome. And that's what happened to this dude's dome is all chewed up on the back. Because she is vicious. She lays eggs. And I watched him fertilize them, but they never, I don't know that he's fertile or not. So I thought I'd give this guy a try. I've heard that flower horns with red eyes are more likely to be fertile. And they're getting real close to breeding. So we'll find out. The trick is keeping them from killing each other. So I got some dividers set up, and this pair has been together a few days now. So we'll see. I got a couple more flower horns in the house. And these are eShop's 360s, I think they are. So it's a sump that's made for saltwater, really. And there's looks like one, but there's two sumps here. So they start here, go through the socks, go through the K1 biomedia, heater chamber, and pump return. And then they're not really made for this freshwater. They're made to be run low, so you could run a skimmer in there, but I'm not running all that. So I run them real high so I can run the K1. The problem would be if this system, the power goes out, the water that is coming from the overflows is gonna overflow the sump. So I drilled drains and ran them outside the garage, so if the system shuts off, they'll let us overflow in the garage. When power comes back on, they'll kick back on, and we'll have enough water to keep running until I tend to it. We have these sumps for, I was gonna have a big 100-gallon sump built and run both of them off of one sump, but that's just never a good idea. So I got two of these for, I think they're only 350 bucks a piece. Plus you gotta buy a pump and some plumbing, so, but they seem to be working good. This one's got a 3,000 gallon an hour pump on it. This one with, that's for the 240, and this one for the 150 has a 1,800 gallon an hour pump on it. Which I think I'd rather bump this one up to the same as this one, because this one's pushing some mega water. This tank I had drilled from Rainbow. You can order them whatever drilled. So I had that put 1.5-inch drains and 3/4 inch returns. So it can push a lot more than what it is. I think it's only pushing, pump's 1,800, but it's probably only pushing 1,200 gallons an hour. So I'm probably gonna get a different size pump and double that. And then my 240 wasn't drilled, so I got one of these hang on the back overflows. It's got a little vacuum pump in case this thing breaks cycle. It'll start it back up again. But yeah, that's a new setup there with the flower horns. And Flex and Abigail are doing good. He's just a monster of a fish. He's as wide as my fist, just 4 inches wide. And he's well over 20 inches now. I'm sure he's a 10-pound fish. And she's no small fish either. She's got to be 17 inches, 17-inch female. They were just all fired up and looked like they were going to breed. I'm just knowing if she can do it anymore. He's definitely ready. And she gets ready, or she's actually whipping his ass. She had him back down in the corner of the tank the other day. And then she just can't quite produce eggs. I don't know, maybe if her time of that is over, or... But they're healthy, doing good, eating. F1 Rio Mag Umbies, about 7 years old. This is going to be a long ass video if I don't hurry up. And we got a Dovai pair here, my big male Dovai, Samson. Not as mean as I would like. but definitely still not a shy fish either. His eyes just on fire. This female is actually a daughter of his that survived, like this one has, and ended up in another tank. And then after he was forced to kill his female, which was the mother of this fish, I decided just to throw her in here because he had been by himself for a while. And when he has a female, he's just better looking. He just colors up, and the hump on his head stands up. And so there, the breeding machines. This female that was from him and another female was just amazing looking at times, just super bright yellow and blue. And then we got the Trimac apples I got from Max. Very impressed with this fish. Sometimes, not right at the moment, but it's a hint of it there. His whole back end is just dark purple. If I sit here and piss him off long enough, he colors up real good. Catch him in mid-rant with his neighbors, and he just fires up something nasty. Having these fish next to each other, they feed off of each other, the aggression and fighting, and just color up. They look amazing. That's why one reason he looks so good, he's protecting this female from his challenging neighbor. Gets him to color up real good. Trimac's putting on some size. I'm sure he's over 10 inches now. Well, just the camera light's not doing too bad, so we'll just keep rolling. I'll go in the house and show you what I got going on before this is an hour-long video. So I think this is new too. I had a 20-gallon here, and I changed it out for a 40-gallon. This is another flower horn I got from Andre, one of his throwaways. It's just funny because this is a super nice fish. Pretty cool having them right here in the kitchen. This is a little bonsai tree my wife and I got out in Oxnard. It's amazing. Some little Japanese lady on the side of the road selling real legit bonsai trees. Gets fed fish tank water. So yeah, we sit here in the morning and eat our breakfast and hang out with this whack job. Fish has got a better all-around body shape, still retained a lot of that natural predator bulk, where the other flower horns have kind of lost some of that. The other two in the garage I have. Neat to see the variations in flower horns. Sometimes they gain traits and give up other ones. It'd be nice to find one that's real well-rounded, that still has the predatory shape of the Trimac, predatory shape and ability, while still having these crazy traits. This guy's pretty well-rounded. This nuchal hump being bigger would be nicer, but still a strong fish. And look at his finnage is crazy in the back. He's got this forked rear fin. A beautiful fish, a lot of attitude. Good fish for a spot like this where he's confronted all the time with high traffic, and they don't back down, they don't stress out. Little canopy I built, right? Amateur carpenter skills. Stain and paint's my game, it's on point, but the carpentry is, it's not bad. Dining room 135, and I rescaped this. Here we go with the light being too bright. Oh well, just gonna suffer through it. So I got some filamentosa barbs from a guy out in Santa Clarita just had him. My buddy David Marinello helped me find him. I saw somewhere on YouTube someone had them and they were sweet, and then was able to, through network of buddies, to track some down. So I got a group of 6, 3 males, 3 females. Beautiful fish, super active. They're breeding. I haven't seen any breeding like to success, but I've seen them spawning behavior, the males challenging each other and challenging the females, and what looks like laying eggs. And I also got 6 Geophagus serenamensis, I think they are. And this light's way too bright. It should be a good group. Geos. And I have another flowerhorn that I got. Andre helped me buy from the dude straight from Vietnam. That was too dark. Come here, dummy. There it comes. Much more of the Vieja traits. This fish is retained, or I had bred into him. I'm not gonna be able to see jack shit. Too dark here, and too bright here. Let's see. Ew, move the light. Duh. Now he's gonna get spooked. Let's see if we can piss him off a little bit. As soon as they see their reflection, they color up and are ready to get after it. So I found this fish interesting. A lot of Vieja traits, red, a lot of pearling. Nuchal hump's not as big as I like, but that might come around. He was hard to transition to pellet food. That whatever they've been feeding him was not that. And he just recently started picking out on pellets after like 2 months. So he's starting to fatten up now. We'll see. Time will tell. Could be a super sick fish. Maybe a disappointment. That's the kind of gamble. You spend pretty good money on these fish, and sometimes they're duds. Give him some time, see how he shapes up. Let's see how shitty the light is on the other tanks. We got the living room Bredori tank, and it's kind of a weird scenario in here. The male is hiding for the first time ever. I think because he got his ass kicked by the female real bad. She's got wigglers over here, big pile of them. Really like this camera, other than this, where like the light is perfect out here, and the video is so much higher quality than the standard video, but it's very light sensitive where you can't see what the hell's going on back here. I got some flagtails going in here, and some roseline barbs, and a couple variations of silver dollars. These big silver dollars breed in this tank. Again, not to success, but definite breeding colors, as you can see now, and behavior. Spotted silver dollars, and some random, I can't remember what their names are, but there's a couple of those in there. Here's the male. Time out. Normally he's out here biting on the glass, wanting to fight, but he's taking a couple of rounds. And is defeated at the moment, which is a bummer. It'd be nice if he'd come out. Look, he's gonna get his ass kicked. And he knows it. These fish came from Max also. I bought a group of 8, and I got 3 pairs. Sold off 2 pairs. Sold off another female. I have an extra female in the garage, and then this pair that just breed over and over. And this male is special. Right now he's not showing his best because he's had his ass handed to him, but he's an amazing looking fish. Like I said, normally he's out here biting on the glass. He's one of those fish, when they have babies like now, you go in the tank and he will bite you. A lot of fish act tough. You go in the tank and they back down. not him. He's gonna bite you. But you can see he's definitely some domestic violence going on in there. She's pissed. You notice nobody's on her side of the tank. They're all over here. Alright, going for the world's longest video. We got one more tank in the bedroom here. And it's not bright enough. I'm gonna try and stop it and clip it together and see what happens. Alright, so I'm able to adjust the light, the ISO, and the aperture, the frame speed, and adjust the light so they see better. So in here I got 6 Rio Laguna El Camalote B9 from Chris Craig. I had 7, but I had one big dominant male that this male was always getting into it with, and so I sold that male to my buddy David Marinello. But these fish have been super rewarding. Look at this female. It's amazing. This male too is just spectacular fish. And then there's 4 other ones, smaller ones that I can't tell what they are. It's one of those species where they certainly aren't showing traits like this female. So I would suppose they're all males that are just suppressed so they don't show colors like this male. But I don't know. First time keeping the species, and some species are just like that where it's hard to tell. I think I'm gonna probably get rid of these 4 extras that I have because they're just getting roughed up. And I'll just keep this female and this male. And in here we got another flagtail. And I got a school of roseline barbs. I have a really wicked royal pleco in here somewhere. And 6 loaches that you're not going to get to see, but yeah, all the tanks are doing good. Hobby took a dip for a minute, but came back stronger than before. Seems to kind of be how it goes for me. Work picks up, hobby dies down. Work dies down, the hobby picks up. So there it is, the insanity of all 8 of my fish tanks. Hope you enjoyed. Alright, so I totally forgot that to add this pond to the video. So I got a 300-gallon tote that I got from my buddy David. And let's see. Let me turn the light on. Oh. And then I lined it with redwood fence planks cut to fit under there. Got a fountain from my front yard. The lady gave me on a paint job I did. And the rich lady just gave me this wicked dog fountain. This is my dog. I got a couple hundred Fedori in here. In the breeding parent side. And the pond lights and lilies. A little garden. My wife and I are just getting out of control. Sweet tomatoes. And there's a 5-gallon bucket under there. A bunch of holes drilled in it, a pump inside. Lined with filter floss. And there's a line that comes out of there. It's teed off. Part of it goes to the fountain on the valve, so you can turn the fountain up or down. And the other leg of the tee goes up into this oak barrel that I bought at some random place out here in the desert on the sticks. Cut a hole in the top of it with a sawzall. Ran that pipe to the bottom. Another pipe from the top going down to the original hole where the cork was for the wine barrel and back up into the pond. So this pretty much stays clean. Well, it looks like it's and just basically it's biomedia, and I just gotta clean the floss out of that every, I don't know, 3 months. I put some plecos in there because I'm getting some gnarly algae, hair algae. Put a couple big plecos in there and they're mowing it down like goats. It'll be interesting to see end of summer how big these Bergora get. So yeah, another little project the coronavirus allowed me to do was build a pond in my backyard. I can sit out here and have a little fire, a little barbecue, a little fetch with the dog, listen to the pond.